Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. I'm not an Ed main, but I've been playing Ed for the past 2 weeks I think. Overall I think the character is pretty well balanced. But let me go step by step. I've never played Ed before. In Street Fighter V I couldn't care about the character. A pretty simple guy. There was nothing in for me. And in Street Fighter 6, I don't like his design. I have an idea how he plays because I've been playing against him a lot, but I never really tried him. I recommended this character to Lee from the Siberia Lab Discord because he's a very good with Punisher, and the way that Lee was playing Zangief, still plays Zangief, was something that he could use for Ed. Decided to really commit and see how much I could push this guy. Spoiler alert, I'm still gonna play this character off stream. I knew he was not going to be an easy character to play defensively, and to be fair, he's far worse in that sense than I expected. He's a really difficult character to play defensively. I think his whiff punishment, again, is fantastic. It's hard to describe how effective it is to hit someone with this thing. This is +8 on hit, by the way. This means you can combo into the standing medium punch if you're close, or crouching medium punch. And obviously this being +8 means on counter hit, it's gonna be +10, so you can combo into the standing heavy punch or another crouching medium kick. And that is already a pretty strong whiff punishment tool, with some crouchers at certain ranges. Over here, you'll see that I'm actually connecting. Full range, it will not work, so you have to be a little bit careful with that thing. But overall, it's a great button. Standing medium kick, of course, you can cancel this, same with this one. It has a target combo. The last hit of the target combo is a little bit strange, the timing where you have to press the standing heavy punch, but other than that, you can get used to it, and it's pretty effective, knockdown. The button is 10 frames, so you have to be, again, a little bit careful, and it recovers in 20 frames. This is like a fireball, so people can jump this, and they can punish you, so be careful with this thing. Crouching heavy kick, great with Punisher, 12 frames, has more range than crouching medium kick, and standing medium kick because he moves forwards a little bit. He has no sweep with kicks, his sweep is crouching heavy punch. All of these 3 buttons are with punishers. And the button you're gonna use the most if you're close is a standing heavy punch, because this has no gaps, and you'll see that you take a lot of dry meters, so you can go into a situation where you need to do something with, at least on block, to just do something with a standing heavy punch. And you can easily hit confirm this from the standing heavy punch. You have a lot of frames to hit confirm this. I don't know how many, I haven't counted, I haven't checked the actual frames at the moment. It combos into a lot of things on hit, and it's safe with pushback. It's not as strong as Ken's standing heavy punch, for example, or Ryu's, but it's still a pretty solid tool. He has some difficult combos, but he also has some very simple ones. For example, if you get a counter hit, you can do this one. Super easy. Alright. I actually activated Punish Counter, but it's the same thing. Blitz combos from lights even, so that's the medium blitz. It's pretty simple to get those combos because, well, they're meant to be easy. He has a target combo from the standing medium punch into the standing heavy punch. This thing is +8, and he has a target combo. He has a lot of things that are very simple to use. The corner carry is fantastic, especially if you go for the harder combos. Like this. That is fantastic corner carry, and you have Oki, so that's pretty good. Damage overall is high, especially if you get something like a Punish Counter. That is a lot of damage. You can go into super level 3. It's pretty simple for him to go into the 5k, close to 6k damage. Of course, we have the Dream Combo. It's very hard to do. And that goes immediately into what I wanted to say the most. This is basically the thing that surprised me the most about Ed. Labbing. If you're a person that loves to go into the lab, practice combos, situations, you're gonna love this character. This character has so many different sequences, so many different things where if you're at that range, you can go for that combo. If you're here, you can press this button, you can juggle in this way. It's fantastic how much I've got out of just random replays from different players. Sahara plays in a very different way to Fudo. They do completely different combos. Even inside the Dream Combo, there are variants. So it's a lot of things you can do with this character. He's so much fun. That being said, that's also, and we're gonna go into the weaknesses. Same thing I said before. If you get the target combo, this is gonna be a very simple example for this guy. You can whiff it. And that's just a very, let's say, intermediate combo. There are some harder ones in the corner where you have to go, for example, for a heavy flicker into a medium light flicker, and you have to cancel the flicker into the kill rush to go into the non-delayed forward punch. Sometimes you have to go for the delay one. It's very complicated. So in a way, it's really good and fun to love all of these things, but if you want to really get good with this character, you have to love not only Ed, but what Ed can do against all the characters, because some of them are easier to punish with certain things, others are far more complicated, like Dhalsim or JP, just to name a few. Those are very, very strange. You have to love a lot of things. I'd say overall it's a good thing because it will give you more bang for your buck. I have another video that is going to be released, I think before this one. Ed is very similar to Zangief. I know, that sounds crazy. It's wild that I'm saying that, but he's very similar in the defense options and also how you have to establish your poking. If someone like Ryu, let's say he's going for something like this, delayed standing heavy punch, delayed standing light punch, Hachogeki, he has to rely more or less in standing light kick or crouching light kick, which is similar to Zangief. Crouching light kick is a very defensive poke. His crouching light kick is pretty bad. Ed, well, it's good for certain things, but overall, defense-wise, it's pretty bad because it's -4. That said, that if someone is shimming you and you press this button, you immediately are either punishable or you lose your turn completely. Standing light kick cancels into nothing. It only has a target combo that you can follow with the second one for a -3. This is -3, -3, and then the final one is super punishable at -8. If you're wondering, this is +3 on hit, so that means that you hit once, maybe you go for the second one, that pushes you forward sometimes, but it's hard to defend with this one and this one. They can create some whips scenarios, but mostly you have to defend when you're blocking with these two. Because the jab, the crouching light punch, which is basically like a crouching light kick for Ed because this is a low. These two are the only buttons that chain together. His jab is honestly awful. And also we have to consider the anti-airs. He has situational anti-airs. It'll all depend on when and how the opponent is jumping. Sometimes you have to go for the heavy flicker, the heavy kick flicker. Other times standing heavy kick is enough. And finally DP, which is 10 frames. And this means that you will have to parry a lot or try to get some situations going where you're technically -1 or 0 and parry. This is something I found curious about this guy, and I'm gonna put it in the weakness section, but I'm not really 100% sure how to explain this. Maybe an Ed main will come to the comment section and will let me know how they approach this situation. But this is +3 if you dry brush, right? This is also +3 on block, +3 on block if you dry brush. If you do the standing medium punch, which is the 7th framer, you will trade. You will get a combo basically. Well, a trade, and then you can get a combo, +9. If you decide to go for a truly frame trap, well, your options are a little bit limited. This is +5. You have to go into a light. +5, +2, +4, and finally +6. And your range is not necessarily the best. So that means you can go into something that is really hard to hit confirm sometimes. You have to go into something like this. And that can be tricky to do in a real fight. So his frame traps are not necessarily the best. And before I forget, since this whiffs, some combos don't work really when you, or the stronger combos don't work if someone is crouching. This is something I just barely mentioned. If you go for something like this, for example, this whiffs, so you need to restand the opponent. Luckily for Ed, crouching medium kick restands and standing heavy punch also restands, so you can go for combos like this. If you start with crouching medium kick, you can go for something like more damaging, but you have to get used to that. So that's also something that is important for this guy. If you whiff punish someone, even punish counter crouching, you have to be a little bit careful because you can whiff into the dry brush heavy kick, the only button that is plus without dry brush, and that is +4, but this whiffs on crouchers, so you have to be very careful with your starters in order to get the most out of Ed. Do I recommend Ed, considering all of what I've said? Yes, absolutely. This character, even though he has weaknesses, I mentioned the weaknesses and maybe I went too hard on weaknesses, but I think overall this character is very strong. I don't consider him low tier at all, not even mid tier. He's either mid-high or within the high tier, because sure, his defensive is not necessarily the best in the game. He's a little bit committal sometimes, but his combo potential is huge. 3 workable supers, super level 2, well, it can be used for dream combos, but you can use it for cheap scenarios. The flicker itself is pretty good, but you have to get used to it because this is minus. You'll see that minus, of course, -6, and sometimes the flicker doesn't combo or doesn't give you a proper gapless option. If you go for something like this, standing medium kick into light flicker, you'll be minus, and also they can DI. If you're holding the flicker at the wrong ranges, you will get DI, so that's something you have to be careful. But overall, this thing is insane. Look at this range, is just ridiculous. And again, this character requires living, as I said, but you can get some really funky combos. like this, and they look so flashy. But I can only recommend this character to a certain amount of people. People that really like to play the whiffing game. He's right there with Jamie. Those two are extremely fun in this game. Funny enough, both of them have really notorious weaknesses, so that's a good thing. The last point is the future of the character, and I have no real clue what they'll do with Ed. I think he's pretty much in the best position he's gonna be in. Maybe they can reduce the frames a little bit, because it's pretty common for Ed to be only -1 or 0 in your face. If you do this combo, the one I showed before, let me save this, I'm gonna show you something. And they wake up blocking, and you go for kill rush, you're gonna be 0. And that's probably one of the best things he can do. Or he goes for a delay throw, and that's it. It's pretty hard for him to be plus. And if he decides to go for the drive rush, he has to delay it, of course. Because if he doesn't, he whiffs. And if he delays it, he's gonna be +4. Well, a little bit more depending on how he hits, but a +3, +4 is not necessarily the best for him at that range. And if he goes for the standing medium punch, he'll be +5. But what do you do with this +5? Another standing medium punch maybe. His pressure is kind of interesting, so maybe they can change a little bit about that. Maybe this button, instead of being -1, could be 0. I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there. Again, the real Ed mains will tell me that he needs certain things that I'm not even considering here. You hate this character if you play Zangief because of how Zangief plays. It's not necessarily Ed's fault to be so good at whiff punishing and Zangief to be so slow. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you hate this guy? Do you like playing him? For now, I'm gonna put this guy in the off-stream section. I'm gonna play him casually just to get more information out of him. On stream, you'll definitely see more Zangief, absolutely more Zangief, and Sagat. We're gonna play his Sagat, so get ready for those. Maybe a little bit of tutorials, some tutorials about Sagat. Go to the Siberia Lab on Twitch. I stream, well, Zangief now, twitch.tv/Siberia Lab. If you really like this video, please subscribe. Take care of yourselves, keep playing grapplers, and I'm gonna be seeing you in the next one. And remember to hydrate. Bye bye.